Hello friends, Master Sommelier Peter Neptune here with another edition of Master Sommelier Peter Neptune Tastes Wine with you. I thought it'd be fun to do a midsummer rosé edition. So I went to my friends at High Time Wine Cellars and I bought 3 rosés under $20 and thought it'd be fun to go through them. I'm familiar with all 3 of these wines, all 3 producers. I like them all, I drink them all. So let's take a look at what we could expect with a lovely edition here of rosé wines for the summer. The first wine is Domaine de Fontsante, Corbière Gris de Gris. What does that mean, Gris de Gris? Well, there are basically 2 different ways of making rosé. One is called the direct press method, or the Vin Gris method, literally gray wine. And the direct press method involves basically taking black or gris grapes, and there, for example, there's Grenache Noir, Grenache Gris, and Grenache Blanc. Gris being the way the French go, well, the grape is neither black nor white, it's kind of russet colored on the vine. So hence the word gris. There's Pinot Gris, Grenache Gris, etc. So this is a wine made in the Vin Gris method, which is the direct press method. So you get a basket press, or you could use a bladder press as well, and slowly press so that the juice goes through the other grapes, picking up just a little bit of that pigmentation and resulting in a fairly pale salmon colored rosé. And that's the telltale kind of eye to be able to differentiate. The other method that's commonly used is what's called the Saignée method, which means to bleed off. And that's basically a short maceration on the skins to then, kind of draw out. So it's almost like you're starting off with red wine fermentation, but then you drain off the kind of pinkish, orangish juice, and you go ahead and finish fermentation a la a white wine. But in this case, it's pink. So that's kind of called that's called the Saignée method, or the short maceration method. So Gris de Gris would mean we're using Grenache Gris and we're making a Vin Gris type of wine. So we take a look at this wine and let's taste through it together here. Well, yeah, this is a very, very pale salmon color. I mean, almost hints of orange in it. It's very pale, which is very typical of the Gris method. On the nose, wow. More, you look at the wine, you go, it's pretty pale, and then on the nose, medium plus intensity, very fresh, very vibrant, very lively. It's got a lot of what I would expect in kind of rosé in general, but Grenache always gives us that kind of wild strawberry character, the raspberry-ish character, even red currant, and we get all that in this with a little hint of peach. It almost smells a little bit like strawberry shortcake. So there's a little bit of a creaminess in the background, so that would tell me the wine was on the lees for a little bit. Again, simple, but very, very compelling, and it makes me want to. It's like, this is rosé for the summer. This is a porch pounder, perhaps, and this would be something that we would really enjoy drinking as an aperitif. On the palate, the wine's bone dry. Acids medium plus, not really any tannin, a little bit of phenolic character, so a little bit of mouth drying phenolics, you would expect that. Alcohol's medium, body medium, and intensity bordering on medium plus. Very pleasant wine. It's got some palate presence. There's actually and I know those of you say, well, could we have tannin? Sure. We're dealing with black or gris grapes, and there is a feeling of phenolics here. There's a feeling of tannin. So I'm gonna actually add back in tannin because it's medium tannin, and it's quite mouth-filling and chewy. So this all of a sudden becomes a rosé that I could have with a burger, that I could have with salmon, that I could have with grilled swordfish, probably all these. I mean, we're just talking getting out there at the grill, barbecuing up some everything, pouring putting this on ice, pouring it, drinking it, finishes medium plus. It's good wine. It's got a lot of grip to it. It might be the most tannic feeling of these 3 rosés. So I'll kind of come back to that when we do a final review. Wine number 2 here is La Spinetta, one of the nicest guys in the wine business. Shout out to Giorgio Ravetti. He owns La Spinetta, which makes some of the best Barolos and Barbarescos you'll ever drink, if you can afford them. This is his Casanova della Spinetta. It's a Toscano Rosato, and it's made from Sangiovese and Prugnolo Gentile, which, of course, what's Prugnolo Gentile? Sangiovese. Sangiovese from the area around Montepulciano, where they make Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. So, reading, his spec sheet, this is mostly a Van Gries style. I believe that he did a little bit of a short maceration, a cold maceration. That's called a cold soak. So you keep the must cold and allow the grapes to macerate. You crush the grapes, allow them to macerate. So this kind of version of bleeding off, a version of short maceration, but the maceration takes place before fermentation, and then he does a press. So you get a little more color here. As you can see, we've got kind of a really medium salmon, saturated salmon color with hints of orange. And on the nose, very floral, a lot of a more concentrated nose. I'm going to call that medium plus and youthful. And right off the bat, I get this kind of rose hips and blossom floral character. And then there's that very unique and very typical sour cherry character that we get from Sangiovese. There's also a hint of orange peel underneath, citrus peel. There's some interesting hibiscus. I forget the name of that hibiscus liqueur. I actually quite like it. But there's an interesting hibiscus character. There's a little bit of a kind of a fennel and herbal character here. So it's actually a quite complex nose with a lot of kind of citrusy fennel things going over the top. On the palate, dry, acid, medium plus. Doesn't have as much tannic grip, as much phenolic grip as the Fonsant. But there's, again, some good polyphenol feel on the palate. This is very interesting. Alcohol's medium, body is medium, intensity is medium, maybe medium plus because of the acidity. It's got a distinctly citrus flavor here. Orange peel, or tangerine. It tastes like a cutie, like a little tangerine cutie. It almost tastes like orange. Who put the orange juice in my La Spinetta Toscano Rosato? It's got this would just be great with a citrus marinated fish or shellfish, like chilequiles or a ceviche, or citrus. I love citrus marinated, like marinating swordfish in orange juice, and then just grilling it up and serving with a compote of tangerine and maybe papaya. This is quite juicy on the palate. It's got a real citrusy juiciness to it that I like a lot. This is very good rosé, very compelling. It's got a lot of forward flash to it and is flat out delicious. Length, good medium plus length. This is very good wine, and I quite like it. It's very interesting, the citrusy character that I get on the wine. Boy, that's a fun food wine for sure. I definitely recommend it, as well as the Domaine Fonsant. Finishes, like I said, medium plus with a good presence to it, a bright juiciness and a little hint of underlying minerality. Congrats, Giorgio. Good wine, man. This is delicious stuff. Made with organic grapes too. You gotta love that. Put that in your body. All good. No pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. That's the La Spinetta, Casanova della Spinetta, and Rosato, La Spinetta. Well, coming up here, one of my favorite rosés. I love Muga, Bodegas Muga in Rioja. They make great wine. The Riojas are fantastic. Their Prado Enea Gran Reserva Rioja is one of my all-time favorites, and so is Torre Muga. Just delicious. But this Muga rosé 2022 is one of my favorites, and at a really great price point, which I'll talk about with all three of these wines in a sec. So this has, again, that kind of nice salmon pink. So it's a pale to medium salmon pink color that just glows in the glass. And you know, what I love about rosé is that it looks like a sunrise. You know, it's a tequila sunrise, but it just looks like a sunrise or a sunset. And you know, rosé, if you're ever in a bad mood, just pop a bottle of rosé and you'll be in a better mood. Just looking at rosé makes me happy. So this wine on the nose has medium plus intensity, and here we get, again, kind of this yellow cherry, strawberry, cherry, apple skin, red apple skin character. There's a beautiful floral overtone with a lot of blossom and acacia and even a bit of hawthorn. There's a leesy character, there's a bread dough character here, a cheese rind character, that and a yogurty sense here on the nose. That's obviously the wine saw probably about 8 months of lees contact. It's a very, it smells kind of like a strawberry-filled brioche. You know, it's like a fresh brioche, and it's got that strawberry filling, almost a little bit like a Pop-Tart, fresh Pop-Tart. Yum. Again, a citrusy element underneath everything, very floral. On the palate, dry wine, acid medium plus. This is very round, full, very harmonious on the palate. It's like peaches and cream or strawberries and cream. It's just got this wonderful palate feel, and that's what I always love about Muga Rosé, is it's so pleasant on the palate. So dry, acid medium plus, tannin is just low and very mouth coating, but low. Alcohol is medium, body is medium plus, intensity is medium plus. On the palate, you get that strawberry, yellow cherry, orange, apple. There's a really nice floral component here and a mouthfeel that's like strawberries and cream. So it's just this really nice, almost oily mouthfeel, like bravo to the mouthfeel. Wow, that's such a pleasant wine to drink. I've always loved Muga Rosé. The finish is pretty long, and it's got, again, that nice kind of limestoney minerality underneath everything. And it's a very chewy wine. It's a really full-bodied, it's a wine of pleasure for sure. That's very good wine. I really like it a lot. Highly recommended. So price point. This wine is at High Time Wine Cellars, $14.99. Highly recommended. Love it. Casanova della Spinetta, this is 2023. This is $17.99. Highly recommended. Love it. And this Domaine de Fonsainte Corbière Gris de Gris is $17.99 as well. And again, this wine is really recommended with some meat dishes. This would be great with grilled chicken on the barbecue. This would be really good with a burger. This has some substance to it in terms of the tannin feel on the palate. The Spinetta has all that bright citrus forward that I've talked about. I would just marinate some swordfish in orange juice or tangerine juice. Boom, boom, boom. And then this guy, what a pleasure. Muga, I love. I mean, that's probably my favorite of the three. Going in, I probably would have thought that too, but this tasting confirms it. This is just a heck of a bottle of wine for $14.99. Well, that concludes this episode, a tasting of rosés, midsummer here. Hope you enjoyed it and gives you some choices to go out there and purchase, drink, and enjoy. See you next time.